everyone, HuskeyNinja here, and welcome to the first episode of Anime I Hold Dear. Today, we're gonna look at one of the very first anime I ever watched as a kid. And that anime, you may be wondering, why, it's none other than the one and only Sailor Moon. And I am talking about the old Dick dub. Yes, the infamous English dubbing studio that censored so much. But us as kids in the 90s, we saw through a lot of it. Why talk about Sailor Moon? Because I feel without Sailor Moon, there wouldn't be a lot of magical girl anime at all, and it wouldn't be the genre that it is today. Without Sailor Moon, there'd be no Madoka Magica. And so I thought it was only right to talk about Sailor Moon today. Sadly, I will not be showing any pictures. I'll only be talking in these videos, as I have a total of 2 more episodes of this series lined up for you guys. Now, the first time I watched Sailor Moon was when I lived in Canada. And there really wasn't that much in terms of cartoons that caught my eye as a kid. But Sailor Moon caught my eye. I may be using some of the English dub names from the 90s, so forgive me. But with others, I will use their Japanese names, or their Sailor Scout name, just to make it easier for people to understand. Now, Sailor Moon actually had 2 premieres in 1995. As Canada got it a month before the US did. Canada got it on August 28th of 1995, where the US got September 11th, 1995. You'll also find with Sailor Moon merch around that time, a lot of it was Canada exclusive, including a board game and dolls. So you'll find around that time, even though they say like the same year, but one doll could be from Canada, the other one from America, that they'll be slightly different. And I don't know why that is. But they changed some of the Sailor Scouts' names to be more westernized. The clever one being of Usagi. Her Japanese name is, of course, Usagi, but for the Dick dub, they changed it to Serena. And those of you who are fellow Sailor Moon fans, who have either only ever watched Sailor Moon or have also read the manga, know it is slight foreshadowing of her being known as, eventually as Queen Serenity. So I think that's a nice little bit of clever use of altering some names to be more westernized for especially 90s dubs. So it's like kids like, oh, how is this person also this person? The Dick dub did help branch Sailor Moon out to a wide audience, as it wasn't just girls watching it, but it was also boys who enjoyed Sailor Moon in the 90s. As it was around the time Power Rangers was really popular. We're talking the old school Power Rangers here. So, seeing an action series that was mostly aimed at girls, also attract male fans, showed in the 90s that there was really like no gender specific target when it came to Japanese animation. But like a lot of early year anime dubs, it does suffer from mouth flaps not matching up with audio. But Sailor Moon lasted a good few years and became a cultural icon and a phenomenon. To the point that to this day, you will have people still using the old school 90s Sailor Moon intro. But unlike a lot of anime at the time, Sailor Moon had to have something added to its English dub. As it was around the time when, like, oh, kids aren't really learning a lot from TV and things. So they added on the end, basically, lessons learned from that episode. Where you'd have Luna and Serena, talk about, oh, this happened in the episode, what did we learn from it? This was due to a lot of TV studios having it as their requirement just for Sailor Moon to be shown, I feel. But it didn't stop fans really enjoying it. The most infamous change with the English dub was they changed Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune's relationship from being a couple into being cousins. Now, this was a English dub change that even us kids in the 90s, we could tell straight through that they were not cousins. Even though they cut a lot of the romantic scenes between them out, we felt, yeah, they're a couple, they ain't cousins. But I am happy that when Sailor Moon was fully remade for Sailor Moon Crystal in 2015, that they corrected a lot of it. They modernized things, like changed things from floppy disk to CD and stuff like that, just to appeal more to the modern audience, and made them look more like how they do for, like, appearance-wise to how they are in the manga. But going back to original Sailor Moon, there were clever changes it did here and there throughout the series. And the original series does have, like, a slight pink hue to it during daytime scenes. Which, if you watch any Sailor Moon from the 90s remastered, that slight rose tinge to it is gone. As I think it was due to the sort of cells they used for the animation. But it was like, back then, a floppy disk could end the world. But they did also have a lot of scenes of just Serena just bawling her eyes out. So in the 90s, my favorite Sailor Scouts were Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Mercury, and Sailor Pluto. As they were a lot more like, okay, there's stuff going on, we need to handle this. What can we do? So they're more like headstrong, strong female role models. But looking back after watching Sailor Moon Crystal, I put it down to how they managed how the English dub was handled back then. I'm not saying it was all bad, but when you compare it to how they better showcased each character's strengths and weaknesses in Sailor Moon Crystal to the original, things are a lot better, but there are some scenes Sailor Moon Crystal made slightly less intense, but explain things a lot better, especially for those who've never read the manga. But Sailor Moon Crystal, I feel, helped bring more people to Sailor Moon, who either weren't around back then or those who grew up with the original. It's like, yes, Sailor Moon Crystal did have its own problems, but it continued the legacy, which is Sailor Moon. I still enjoy watching Sailor Moon today, and it's become a comfort anime for me. It's one where it's when things feel like things aren't going well or things feel overwhelming, it's a nice anime to watch. Just to be like, things could be a lot worse, or they can manage such hard challenges and enemies, and they're in high school. Why can't we all get together and just make the world a better place all together? So it's a nice comfort anime just to help wind down with, cheer myself up with. And it's just a nostalgic comfort anime for me. So I will end the video there. I'll put a link down below to some of the OG intro songs. And next time I will be talking about another anime I hold dear to my heart that I do cosplay from. So until next time, bye everyone!